The Kosovo Conflict, which took place from 1998 to 1999, was a significant struggle between ethnic Albanians and ethnic Serbs, along with the government of Yugoslavia, which by then consisted of the republics of Serbia and Montenegro. This conflict captured worldwide attention and eventually led to intervention by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. The roots of this conflict can be traced back to 1989, when Ibrahim Rugova, the leader of the ethnic Albanians in Kosovo, initiated a policy of nonviolent protest. This was in response to the revocation of Kosovo's constitutional autonomy by Slobodan Milosevic, who was the president of Serbia at that time. Milosevic, along with the Serbian minority in Kosovo, had long been opposed to the demographic control exerted by Muslim Albanians in a region deeply sacred to the Serbs. For the Serbians, Kosovo holds immense significance. It is not merely a territory, but a profound epic poem, a wellspring of collective heroic memory, and the cradle of their religious and national identity dating back to the 14th century. Kosovo was the seat of the Serbian Orthodox Church and the site of historical battles, such as the Turkish defeat of the Serbs in 1389 and the Serbian victory over the Turks in 1912. These events cemented Kosovo's importance in the Serbian historical and cultural psyche. As tensions escalated between the two ethnic groups, the international community's reluctance to address the issue bolstered support for Rugova's more radical opponents. They argued that their demands could not be achieved through peaceful means. Consequently, the Kosovo Liberation Army, KLA, emerged in 1996, engaging in sporadic attacks on Serbian police and politicians. These attacks steadily increased in frequency and intensity over the next 2 years. By 1998, the actions of the KLA had escalated into a substantial armed uprising. In response, Serbian Special Police and eventually the Yugoslav armed forces sought to reassert control over the region. The ensuing conflict saw numerous atrocities committed by the police, paramilitary groups, and the army, leading to a massive wave of refugees fleeing the area. This humanitarian crisis garnered extensive international media coverage. The Contact Group, an informal coalition comprising the United States, Great Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and Russia, demanded a ceasefire, the withdrawal of Yugoslav and Serbian forces from Kosovo, the return of refugees, and unrestricted access for international monitors. Milosevic, who had become the president of Yugoslavia in 1997, agreed to most of these demands, but failed to follow through on their implementation. During the ceasefire, the KLA regrouped and rearmed, subsequently renewing its attacks. The Yugoslav and Serbian forces responded with a brutal counteroffensive, including a systematic program of ethnic cleansing. The United Nations, UN Security Council, condemned the excessive use of force and imposed an arms embargo, but the violence continued unabated. Diplomatic negotiations commenced in Rambouillet, France in February 1999, but broke down the following month. On March 24th, NATO began airstrikes against Serbian military targets. In retaliation, Yugoslav and Serbian forces expelled nearly all of Kosovo's ethnic Albanians, displacing hundreds of thousands into Albania, Macedonia, now North Macedonia, and Montenegro. The NATO bombing campaign lasted for 11 weeks and eventually extended to Belgrade, causing significant damage to Serbia's infrastructure. In June, NATO and Yugoslavia signed a peace accord that outlined the withdrawal of troops and the return of nearly 1 million ethnic Albanians, as well as another 500,000 displaced within the province. Most Serbs left the region, facing occasional reprisals from the returning population. UN peacekeeping forces were deployed in Kosovo, which then came under UN administration. The early 21st century saw continued tensions between Albanians and Serbs in Kosovo. Sporadic violence occurred, such as the anti-Serb riots in March 2004, which erupted in numerous cities and towns across the Kosovo region. These riots resulted in approximately 30 deaths and the displacement of more than 4,000 Serbs and other minorities. In February 2008, Kosovo declared its independence from Serbia. By this time, Yugoslavia had ceased to exist, having transformed into the Federation of Serbia and Montenegro in 2003, which itself dissolved in 2006. Although the United States and several influential members of the European Union chose to recognize Kosovo's independence, Serbia did not.